Hey guys, Angry Monkey here.
Jackson Farrell from Hot Pile of Garbage.
And we're playing some more 999, and apparently this mysterious zero bracelet was 6?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're in pursuit.
So we are chasing after Ace, who still has Lotus hostage, but we did find Snake.
Yep.
He is still alive. And voiced by me this time.
Yeah. What? Did you recognize that number on the middle of his robes? Or not the number, the symbol.
I'll have to look at it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would seem. 7 clearly hadn't thought their experimentation would produce anything useful, and looked rather confused. Snake was, as usual, calm and smug. Of course I knew that, because I'm Snake. I know everything. The door slid closed. Junpei's forehead furrowed as he thought.
That meant the number for the mysterious bracelet was 6.
And all those numbers. But how could it be 6? The display on the bracelet clearly showed a 0.
Huh.
Suddenly, from somewhere far beneath them, they heard the creak and groan of tearing metal. With it came the sound of water pouring into parts of the ship that had, until recently, been dry.
Oh man, that's not good. I guess our time's just about up, huh?
At any rate, we know now that the door can be opened. Yeah, I don't know what symbol that is.
It looks like a combination of some of the, like, astrological symbols that we've seen before.
Oh, maybe.
You know, there's, like, the circle with... I don't know. But, Snake, are you sure? Yeah. You know that only Junpei and I can go through this way.
You needn't worry. I have a solution to this problem. My last resort. But if now is not the time for last resorts, then when?
Last resort? Is that where this cruise ship is headed? I could use a vacation after all this garbage.
Indeed. I would very much fancy a vacation myself.
Through the door!
Okay, so everybody's scanning.
Yep. And... deactivating the killer. And...
Junpei 7 and Snake ran full tilt down a long, straight hallway. They were heading for the stern of the ship and had no time for distractions. As they ran, 7 spoke.
Gotta admit, you really surprised me there, kid. I couldn't figure out how the heck you were gonna get out of that one. How come you didn't do that right off the bat?
As I told you, it was our last resort. Had I used it at the beginning of the game, I would have come under a great deal of suspicion. I imagine most people would have taken it to mean that I was 0. Once they'd convinced themselves of that, I wasn't optimistic about my chances of making out of here alive, let alone unscathed. I felt as though it was best to play my cards close to the chest, as it were. That way, if I were in a situation where there was nothing else I could do, I'd have a little trick up my sleeve. I'd just take my bracelet off. Snake's plan had been simple, but effective. He'd simply removed his bracelet. How, to Junpei, it looked as though Snake had simply crushed the bones of his hand until they were small enough to fit through the wristband. Of course, that would have been practically impossible, so how had he done it?
My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm. It's fake. It's not a real arm.
How many different ways can you say it's not real?
It's not real. It's not real. It's not real.
I meant in terms of synonyms, but inflection works as well.
Okay.
It's not real.
Okay, so Snake had slid the bracelet off and tossed it into the coffin. With it gone, he had little to fear from the numbered doors. He walked through the door easily without authenticating. He stepped out of the other side unscathed and began running down the hall alongside 7 and Junpei. They kept running for a while longer and eventually came upon a set of stairs leading downward on the right side of the hallway. They stopped and peered down the staircase. As far as they could tell, it went all the way to the bottom. As far as they could tell, there didn't seem to be any flooding. They nodded quickly to one another and jogged down the stairs. It took only a few minutes to make their way to the bottom deck. There was a single hallway in front of them, at the end of which was a single door. Junpei threw it open. Inside was a massive iron gate. A plate was affixed to the top of it. It read, Incinerator. Incinerator.
Incinerator?
No, it's Incinerator. You have to put that extra emphasis on the tor.
Incinerator?
Yes, indeed, the Incinerator. Oh my, that does sound very pleasant. Do you see a lever near the gate, perhaps?
Yeah, right over here. How did you know that?
Well, I'd be happy to regale you with a story. I imagine it should only take half a day or so.
Ugh.
Junpei grumbled, gave Snake a dirty look, and jogged over to the lever. Junpei, why'd you give me a dirty look?
How do you know that?
Because I'm smart. I knew exactly what you were going to do. And if you pull it, the door ought to open.
Got it.
He pulled the lever down.
Doors,
All right.
doors.
Got the door open.
Yep.
With the rumble of an ancient motor, the door opened. There was no need to hold back and no time to hesitate. They pushed their way inside.
Ancient is a funny word for a motor, you know?
Yeah. Standing in front of them were Ace and Lotus. Ace still held the revolver in his hand. He was still pressed hard against Lotus's temple. A small dark bruise had begun to form near the tip. Even from several yards away, Junpei could see that Lotus was shaking. She was terrified. Perhaps more interesting was what Junpei saw behind them. 9. Another number 9 door. But why? Why was there another one? The door stopped Junpei in his tracks. It simply shouldn't have been there. As his brain finally began to consider why, the whine of a warning klaxon filled the air, drowning out any thought.
There it is.
Yeah. Who wants to do this? Who wants to do the speaker?
I'll do the speaker.
Okay.
Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Automatic incineration will take place in 9 minutes.
Ha! Another 9.
Always 9. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Oh my, how exciting. You've run quite a show here, Zero.
A terrifying smile twisted Ace's face.
What's the matter? Too frightened to understand? Here, let me explain.
Whose voice do you think, or whose face is creepier? Ace, right here, or Clover?
It's
really a toss-up right now.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Clover's an innocent girl, you wouldn't expect that. And then for her to cut you up with an axe, that's pretty disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have this old guy who's just kind of, yep.
Yeah, I think Ace is more threatening, but Clover is more disturbing.
Okay, yeah.
At least to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. It is said the incineration system is about to activate. In 9 minutes, this room will be engulfed in flames.
Huh? Who are you?
You don't recognize me. I'm hurt. It's me, Snake.
Snake? Ah, yes, you are alive. I'm afraid your bizarre style had me
Snake?
confused.
What happened? Snake? Snake?
Snake! I'm quite glad to see you're alive.
Why, thank you. Ace's voice didn't change. Snake ground his teeth.
If you don't mind my asking, how did you get here? Snake, Junpei, 7? The 3 of you couldn't have opened a door with a 9. Did you use Clover's bracelet, perhaps?
What? So, numbers...
Ah, well, your reaction suggests that you did not.
Hold on. Why did you think we'd have Clover's bracelet? Junpei felt his chest tighten.
Oh, they haven't told you.
Told me what?
Clearly not. Normally, I would take some time and enjoy the moment, but I'm afraid my time is at a premium just now. I'll have to make this quick. Clover, don't do it, Ace! Keep your mouth shut! Clover, I said stop it! Don't listen to him, Snake!
Junpei could feel his voice getting hoarse, but Snake didn't listen to him. What happened to Clover? Ace looked at him. The corner of his mouth curled into the hook of a cruel smile.
Clover died.
Oh, man. The color left Snake's face. He shook his head weakly. No, that's not true. That's impossible.
Star Wars!
No! That's impossible! It's a lie. It has to be a lie.
Oh, it's quite true. I can assure you of that. I killed her myself, you see.
What?
I'm sorry, did I stutter?
Did I stutter?
I killed her.
Snake's face twisted in a mask of rage, mottled red rising to dot his pale skin. His entire body shook. He looked to Junpei disturbingly like a demon.
I would have rather she died with less suffering. A bullet in her brain, perhaps, would have been ideal. Unfortunately, that would have made quite a bit of noise. Circumstances being what they were, I was forced to settle for the knife. The one the ninth man had, you remember?
So it was Ace with the knife in the bathroom.
So it was. I believe I caught her just below the shoulder blade. I was rather lucky, in fact. My first thrust went right between her ribs. Her flesh was so soft. My knife slid in so easily. There was no resistance. That feeling was, I confess, I feel rather excited. It is a powerful memory. Someday, perhaps, I hope I can feel it again. Creepy. Incineration will begin in 7 minutes.
I am going to kill you. Snake's words were a guttural growl, barely audible.
I'm sorry, what?
I am going to kill you.
Ah, so you're going to kill me. Please do. Come now, I'm waiting. Don't do it! Don't listen to him, Snake! Stop it, kid. He's screwing with your head. Is there a problem? What are you waiting for, boy? Don't you want me to send you to join your sister? Don't! Snake! Don't do it!
But Snake could no longer hear them. Snake could no longer hear anything. What? Oh, yeah! I can't do Snake's voice with a scream.
Yeah! Just the prince.
Bro!
Wow.
Snake moved like a bolt of lightning. His scream echoed through the incineration chamber, full of rage and despair.
Snake! Snake! Bang. Well, another one bites the dust.
Ah! Another scream filled the room. It was Lotus. She ran across the room toward Junpei, her eyes wide with terror. Snake's ill-fated attack had loosened Ace's grip on her, and she made a run for it. She reached Seven and Junpei and ducked behind them. Use me as you're my shield! Protect me, Junpei! You know that the bullet could just pass through me and still hit you. Shut up! You're my human shield! No! What about Seven? He's bigger and fatter and muscular.
Stronger. We're able to beat people up. Especially people who try to use me as a human shield.
You want to hurt a lady, won't you? You're not Ace! Okay, so Junpei could... Okay, so anyway, we read all that. So she's hiding behind Junpei and Seven.
Incineration will begin in 5 minutes.
Notice how we are decreasing by 2.
Give me the woman.
He raised the gun.
I need her. Without her bracelet, I will be unable to open this door.
Numbers.
9. Quickly now. I don't have time for your shenanigans.
In the center of the room, Snake's body lay eerily still. He looked like a human larva, prone and vulnerable on the floor.
I see. Then it would seem I have no choice. The rest of you must die as well. Fortunately, I have 5 bullets left. 1 for Junpei, another for Lotus, and the last 3 for that lump of idiotic man you call 7. I will take Lotus's body with me and leave this room. Incineration will begin in 4 minutes. Well, it looks as though our time together is at an end. I rather enjoyed playing with you. Goodbye.
Junpei could see Ace's finger tighten. He could see it begin to squeeze down on the trigger. His body tensed, preparing for the catastrophic impact of hot lead against human flesh. Then it happened. Snake stood up.
What? No! That's impossible! Just like Star Wars again.
For the first time, Ace's composure broke. With obvious effort, Snake lunged forward 1 step closer to Ace, then another. He looked, for all the world, like a zombie. I'm going to kill you. I'll kill you. His voice was the mournful wailing of the undead.
Stay away from me! Get back! Stop! If you come any closer, I'll... Get away from me!
Little by little, Ace was retreating. Snake didn't stop. I think you could hear the shuffling of the footsteps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. The click. The shuffling click.
He approached his swift, inexorable approach, his eyes twin pools of pure fury.
Well, listen to me! I said don't come any closer! You punk! You rotten little...
Ace's revolver leapt 5 times. 5 times the air in the incinerator was split by the crack of a bullet. Snake's body twitched as 5 loud clouds of blood and torn flesh leapt in the air across his body. A fine pink mist drifted from his body and disappeared. Snake made a strange sort of choking cough. And then his strength was gone. His legs crumbled, and his broken and battered body slid to the floor.
Incineration will begin in 3 minutes.
But Snake wasn't done. Even as the pool of blood beneath him grew, he began to move. He half crawled, half slid toward Ace. 1 bloody arm wrapped itself around Ace's leg, and the other gripped his thigh with strength that should have long been gone.
You son of a gun! You're a monster!
Oh, you're the one with the gun.
Get off me! Let me go! Darn you! Darn you to heck!
He kicked at Snake with his free leg, driving his foot into Snake's face, his arm, his shoulder. It made no difference. Snake refused to release him. Once a snake has ensnared its prey, rarely does it release it. This is it, Ace. We're going to burn to death together.
What? Incineration will begin in 2 minutes. Ah! Dang it! Dang you! Sounds so dramatic. Get off! Let me go, you monster! Okay. Look, think about it this way. My company owns a wonderful hospital. It has excellent doctors. You're not wounded too seriously. I'm sure they can fix you up easily. You don't have to die. You can be saved. Just let me go.
Pathetic. Begging for your life. Then Seven and Lotus began to speak. Junpei could hear tears in their voices, and their words were strained.
Snake, that's enough. You can stop now.
I find it funny that in this particular scene, if I wouldn't have taken over Snake's voice, there were literally no character's eye voice in this room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes! He's right, Snake! You've done enough!
Come on, Snake, let's go. Let's get out of here.
You have to come with us! We have to leave together!
Snake turned toward them. He coughed, and blood splattered across the floor. Then he smiled a sad sort of smile.
I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't do that. You best forget about me. You need to leave soon. I'm going to take him with me.
Shut up! Be quiet!
I couldn't save Clover. My sister died because of me. Perhaps this will begin to atone for that. Perhaps in the afterlife she can forgive me. Now go. Go now. You have to go.
Incineration will begin in 1 minute. Bad words. Worse words. We're out of time. We have to go.
Seven. Snake couldn't go anywhere. Seven ran toward the exit. Lotus followed him, but Junpei couldn't move. There were white lines down Snake's cheeks where his tears had washed the blood away. He was a broken body, soul, and Junpei felt as though half of his own heart had been torn out. His eyes stung, and he tried desperately to swallow to clear the lump in his throat.
Junpei, what are you doing? You have to get out of here now.
Junpei's chest tightened, pulled taut by anger, misery, and a cold feeling of emptiness. Pure emotion surged through his heart along the torrent of blood. He could feel it, building a tremendous wave, growing taller and taller and taller. And then it broke, crashing down with thunderous force onto his shaken, unprepared mind.
Snake! Snake!
Snake! Junpei's rational mind was gone. He was driven by instinct now, and he launched himself across the floor at Snake and Ace, or he tried to.
Wait. Don't be an idiot, Junpei.
He felt a hand grab him from behind. It was Seven. Before he had time to react, the larger man had pinned Junpei's arm to his sides and was hauling his bodily back toward the door.
No!
Hauling him bodily back to the door.
No! I have to help Snake! 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 Get off of me! Let me go! Incineration will begin in 10 seconds. 7, 6. I don't got a choice, kid. Don't blame me for this, alright? 5, 4, 3, 2. 1, 0. Gates 2 and 3 are locked down, beginning incineration.
Junpei felt Seven's fist bury itself deep in his stomach, and then his legs turned to mush. Seven scooped him up in the same motion and leapt through the door, slammed shut behind them. Junpei struggled to shaky feet. He glanced over to see Lotus only a short distance away. Junpei ran to the door. There was a small window cut into it. Inside, he could see Ace and Snake.
Poop! Darn you all! Why? Why? Why me? I don't deserve this! Answer me! Answer me, Zero! Why? Why? Zero! Zero! And Ace and Snake barbecue. Sad to see you go, fellas.
Well,
Zero!
it's sad to see Snake go. It's not really sad to see Ace go.
Well, yes and no. No and yes. He seemed like an alright guy, at first.
At first, but, I mean, you just saw his true colors. He didn't know how much time had passed. He didn't know how long he stood there in front of the incinerator. He looked to the side. Lotus's face was ashen, and if not for the hand he'd put against the wall, Junpei didn't think she could have stood. Seven looked old and tired and used. His eyes stared at the floor, seeing nothing. Junpei said nothing. He simply began to walk toward the open door in the hallway they'd come down earlier.
Hey, wait, Junpei! Junpei, where are you going?
He blinked when their voices broke the silence. He stopped.
You stay here. I'll go get Santa and June. You're gonna bring them in here? How? Don't worry about that. Just stay here and wait. Alright?
He began to walk again. He looked over his shoulder and watched Seven and Lotus grow smaller and smaller. They stared back, not moving. He wasn't sure that they could. Don't worry, I'm going to break this up into 2 episodes, because we're pretty much at the end. So he turned around. He knew where he was going. When they'd walked through the hallway earlier, he'd noticed an elevator at the end of the side hallway. If it still worked, then maybe. Before long, Junpei found himself in front of the elevator. That's the symbol that was on the gold, silver, and bronze.
Oh, so it is.
Yeah. So next to the door was a button with a triangle on it. He pushed it, and the door opened.
Lucky us. Convenient elevator.
Yeah. But where does it go? Junpei was in the large hospital room. Oh, wow.
There's where it goes.
Yeah. That's convenient.
June! Santa!
He kept calling and walked to the center of the room. But try as he might, he couldn't find them.
Ugh, darn it. Where did they go?
Increasingly frustrated and increasingly worried, Junpei left the large hospital room. He had no choice. He would have to look for them. Junpei's heart was heavy. He couldn't shake the feeling, but there was a part of him that felt it would be wrong to, even if he could. With every step he took, his legs felt more and more like lead.
Where will my legs lead me? My leaden-leading legs.
Yeah, we're pretty much exploring every ounce of the ship.
Every ounce. Every square ounce. Every metric square ounce.
Yeah. Every inch of the ship. There we go.
Every kilojoule ounce per second. Oh.
Every meter. every gram.
Every gigawatt.
Are there any other measurements to think of?
I'm running out of units.
I ran out, so. But not like Junpei. He ran.
He ran out.
He ran out. Sometime later, Junpei found himself at the chapel. He stepped inside, expecting to find nothing. But there, on the red carpet in the center of the room, June. No, codenames didn't matter any longer. She was Canny.
Kenny!
Junpei cried her name and ran. Like lightning, he ran across the room toward her. Why couldn't he use that lightning speed to get there sooner?
Oh man, Kenny.
He stumbled to a stop. As he looked down at her body, lying so still on the floor, he felt the icy grip of fear upon his heart. She was still, so very still. No, couldn't be. It was impossible. More Star Wars. No! Slowly, Junpei bent down toward her. His hands shook and he felt very cold and very hot at the same time. He forced himself to look. Her back was moving. Slowly it rose and fell. Relief washed over him.
Kenny!
Junpei reached down and gently, very gently, lifted her up.
Kenny! Are you alright?
Junpei. Her face was pale, and her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. They stared straight at Junpei, but saw nothing. Trembling, Junpei wrapped his arm around her back. She was cold. Very cold.
And yet, at the same time, hot.
She was hot.
Very hot.
Junpei tried to convince himself that it was only his imagination, but she felt as though she were fading away. He could feel his heart pounding frantically in his chest.
Oh man, Kenny. What happened to you? You feel...
Junpei, I'm sorry.
Her voice was very faint.
I might not make it.
No way! No way am I gonna let you die. I'm gonna save you, I promise.
Thank you, Junpei. Thank you so much for everything. I was really happy to see you again, Junpei. Really happy.
Don't give me that I was crap. You're gonna see me again lots more times. You've just gotta hang on, alright, Kenny?
Junpei, did you know you meant a lot to me when we were kids? I've liked you for a really long time, Junpei, and my voice was starting to crack there. It sounded awful, but that's for a really long time.
Need some water there, Kenny?
Don't worry, we're going to be seeing a lot of water really soon.
Junpei's vision had gone blurry. It took him a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He could feel a piercing point of heat deep in his heart, like a white-hot flame that burns like the white-hot passion and intensity of 1,000 suns as he's staring at his love just fading away. He looked down at Akane.
Game over.
There was a crack of static from above his head, and a voice spoke. 0.
You punk! You rotten little punk! Where are you hiding?
Junpei frantically scanned the ceiling for the source of the voice.
I am right here. I've always been close to you.
What are you even talking about?
No matter. I will tell you again. Game over. This game has ended.
No, it hasn't. I'm not gonna let it end yet. I'm gonna get out of here with Kenny.
You can't. That is impossible.
Why?
Because you chose the wrong path.
The wrong path?
That is correct. Your path was inevitable, however. Admit defeat. Where there is shadow, there is light. Where there is light, there is shadow. So it goes.
What are you talking about?
It matters not. The loser has been decided.
I told you I'm not gonna lose.
No, you misunderstand. You haven't lost. I have lost.
What?
Junpei didn't have time to ponder what that meant before he heard the door slam shut behind him. He spun around. There was no one there. Was it 0?
Kenny, wait here. I'll be right back, I promise.
She managed a single nod. Junpei laid her back down gently and leapt for the door. He yanked it open and shot outside. No one. The hall was empty. There was nothing moving anywhere. He didn't want to leave Kenny alone any longer than he had to, so Junpei turned around and headed back to the chapel.
I expected it would be empty. Is this a good break point for the episode?
It's basically almost done.
Oh.
Pretty much, we're pretty much right at the
Okay,
end.
so pushing on to the end.
Yeah.
Kenny?
She wasn't there. She wasn't anywhere. She'd been lying there on the floor just moments before. And now she was gone.
Oh god, no! Where is she? Kenny!
His cry split the heavens themselves. He screamed until his voice gave out.
I'm not voice acting that.
Thank you. Then he screamed some more. And you don't have to scream that either. But there was nothing. No answer. His voice faded away, and all that remained was cold, unfeeling silence.
And I'll gladly voice act that, oh shoot, I just spoke!
That was when he noticed it. A strange smell, one he'd smelled before.
What?
The smell of a peculiar white smoke. 9 seconds later, Junpei's mind winked out.
Cradle's magic gas.
Yeah.
And I guess I drown.
Yeah, so that was probably the most heartbreaking of the endings. Because not only did June die in your arms again, but you also saw Snake come to life only to have him get fried in the fire.
Yeah. At least we might perhaps manage to save him in the final route.
That is hopefully the plan. Our plan is to hopefully be able to rescue everybody. Spoiler alert, we won't be able to save 90.
Yeah.
But we have been able to save many of those other times, so...
Yeah, this is not a time travel game, apparently.
No. But... maybe... No, I can't say anything.
Maybe we should just save all the big revelations for the next episodes, huh?
Yeah, and the next episode we'll actually see... Well, the next episode will be just working toward getting to the true ending. But, yeah, because the true ending is going to take forever.
And next episode, we'll start walking down that road.
Alright, and hopefully not die.
Yeah.
So we're going to catch you guys in that next episode, and this has been Angry Monkey.
And Jackson Farrell from Hot Pile of Garbage.
And we are saying goodbye, and hope you enjoyed this ending, and we are going to catch you in the next episode. The end.
Or is it?